Welcome, my allies from all around, to another episode of One Build a Day. This is Frontline, and in this episode we're going to be going over the builds that we have been doing for the past week, the last week of February, yay! And yeah, I'm going to be able to show you guys all kinds of these builds. These are actually first showcased on Twitter and Instagram at Allies All Around if you want to check them out when they release. But yeah, right now we're actually on the month of March, so if you want to check those out now, you can see the abandoned theme that we started on those channels as well. So be sure to check that out, but for now we're going to go ahead and showcase these builds that we have been doing. So over here, we have a build for the Frozen theme, a cave entrance. This is actually an idea proposed by Grumpy Owl, and I actually didn't have enough room on the sign to make it symmetric, so it's actually Grumpy Owl Gaming. But my need for having the signs be perfect and not go 3 lines over has made me constrict the name at least a little bit. But you know, Grumpy Owl Gaming, it's still like something you'd be able to find. But anyway. Right here is a cave entrance that's all frozen over and stuff. You've got basically like these ice bits that are poking out of the ground here, as well as the cave that has opened up in this kind of a way. And the idea for this was mainly just, I haven't really worked on cave entrances. I've worked on caves, I've worked on cave passageways, but not really taken much time to actually get the outside of the cave looking right and in place. So you can kind of see like, oh, there's all these kinds of like mounds and stuff. There's one here, but this one actually has like a cavity inside of it, which leads downward. At the moment, it doesn't lead anywhere. I feel like I might, if I have time and I feel like it, connect it up to the bottom of this frozen pit we showcased last week. But yeah, for now, it's just kind of leading down into a nothingness pit of black, but it is a cave entrance after all. It doesn't really need to have much else leading about it. And yeah, that one was a pretty nice one to build. Over here, we've got a frozen fountain. This one was actually suggested by BullyBait88. He's on the Craftway realm with me, and other YouTubers as well. We have like a lot of people there if you want to check out that on my channel. But right here we have a frozen fountain in which the water was flowing at one point, but just eventually froze in motion to which it wasn't flowing anymore. And it's really, really hard to get the motion of like it flowing right beforehand. I'm still not sure if I quite perfected the flowing motion. It definitely like looks like it's kind of like trickling down, but I'm not sure if that's just like me knowing that it's trickling down or something else like that. Either way, it was definitely like an interesting thing to do. I do like the elevation by a slab so that you can kind of see like there's a block here, but it also like dips down so that it goes like down half a block to into the ice that used to be actual water that was at the bottom. But yeah, that was definitely an interesting one to do. And yeah, let's go ahead over to this one now, an ice skating rink. This one, I kind of like came up with the idea, and I'm not sure if it really is detailed to the point where I really like it, but it was an interesting one to do. I like the idea of having the ice at the bottom, and you can still see through it slightly to be able to get the lines on the ground. Obviously, it's a little bit thicker ice than you would normally have in an ice skating rink, but it's still fine. I think that the skylights was a good alternative to actually having real lights on the ceiling and ground and stuff, and I do like how it turned out. Probably if I would have done it again, I would have added actual seating around the place, or just like a better entrance. But yeah, for just a small little build that we do every day, I think that that one turned out quite nice. Now over here, we have a Winter Treehouse. This idea was inspired by something suggested by Grumpy Owl Gaming again. And yeah, we have a nice little frozen treehouse with some little snowmen too. They've been put into their nice little areas down here. And the barrier blocks are actually slightly higher than I normally have them, just because I didn't want to actually place them down onto the snow. But yeah, still We have also barrier blocks here so that the ladder actually kind of looks like it's floating instead of having it just be, blocks around and all that kind of stuff. You actually feel like you're truly climbing a ladder upwards in that kind of a way. And then you get up here to be able to see all kinds of views. Not much that way, but we got some more that we're going to be showcasing that way. But just a little sneak preview. I do like how this one turned out. Having the snow not be as prevalent, like underneath the branches and stuff, I thought was like a good detail to add and gives like a little bit more like realism inside of it. But nonetheless, that's still like a cool build that, I might be able to improve on in the future, but still kind of a cool concept to begin with. Over here, we have a Cryo-Freezing Laboratory. This may or may not be slightly block palette inspired by a scientist I know who likes to treat chickens badly and all kinds of other stuff. And speaking of chickens, and it's like this place, I wish that Bedrock had the ability to have it so that like AI could be turned off whenever you summon the mob. But unfortunately, they're not exactly frozen. they're moving around a little bit. In pictures, they look fine because, it kind of looks like they're just stagnant and still. But nonetheless, still kind of looks cool with the effect it's given. Here we have different specimens that are all inside here, and they are all called specimen. They are like renamed with name tags so that they don't despawn. And they're able to be studied, be able to live on a little bit longer and see the effects of freezing on the different individuals. So let's continue on past that to a winter campsite. This one was an interesting one to get right. And I think that the hardest part was the tent. I didn't want to make it too big, but I also didn't really want it to be too small. I looked up reference material, and this was like a tent design that I saw at one point online, in which you have the bits of like yellow and gray combined together to be able to create a house. And just has like some sleeping bags in here that people are able to go ahead and rest inside of, as well as a nice campfire that's still lit for some reason. Probably should have taken that out. Only you can prevent forest fires. But so let's go past this. I think that this one turned out quite nice. Let's actually view it at night, because I think that that's actually like a really good way to view this build, just in my opinion. Because it has the nice light and you can see the stars and the moon and all that kind of stuff. We can go ahead and even just walk on this nice flat path here into the Snowman. He's actually also lit up because Bedrock is awesome in that you can go ahead and have just snow layers here that fully go into a block, and the light still shines through like a transparent block would. So that's pretty much how I was able to get the Snowman to actually light up at night and all that kind of stuff. And we still got the torches here as well to light them up at least a little bit more. But I really like how this one turned out. I will admit that he's a bit big. I feel like it would have taken a lot of effort to be able to get this guy together. I mean, seriously, you would need to cut down the whole entire tree to get one of his arms, let alone both of them. But nonetheless, I think that it's a nice little detail thing. He's all smiley and all that. Got a nice carrot nose. The biggest carrot in the world, might I add. And definitely a quite interesting thing to be able to do. But that is actually the final build for February. A very fitting build and a very nice build to be able to see for the end of this Frozen theme. And let's just go ahead and turn it back to day here really quickly as well to be able to actually see everything. And yes, for March, now that I am done with February, I am going to be doing a new theme than just keeping on doing this Frozen theme. Although it's been fun, I do need to be able to continue on past this and be able to show you guys other kinds of styles that I've been trying to improve on. And this time, it's going to be abandoned. Abandoned, basically, I'm just going to try and build stuff that has already been lived in, but has at some point been ignored or stopped being lived in at some point for some odd reason. I think it's going to be an interesting one to do. I have to be able to incorporate some story into each one of my builds to make it really be able to fit in that kind of a way. And yeah, if you have any suggestions for that, be sure to leave them in the comments below. But anyway, I would promise that this video would go on forever, but that would be a lie. Subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter to be able to check out these builds as they come out. And be sure to also leave me comments on those suggestions. But anyway, this has been Frontline, and I'll see you guys all in the next episode. Bye.